Welcome to Talking with Famous People. My name is Hueso Enrico, and I'm the Hueso de Hueso de Talking de Famous. Yeah. And as a consequence, why isn't it showing? I'm waiting for it to pop up here on the channel. It takes a second. There's a little bit of a delay. So when it does pop up, then I'll have the chat up. What's going on?
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh,
Here we
there
go.
it is. Yeah.
Oh.
Cause I'm more than sure you're the one.
Okay, so now we've got this set up. The chat's up in here. We've got the camera going. We've got all the necessary technological implements to accomplish our goal, which is live streaming about JAWNY. Rachel and it's critical that Rachel is here with me, as always it is, but I would be much more skeptical of my own intuition here about this if Rachel weren't sitting right next to me, agreeing with me, and in fact leading me in certain areas, like noticing the bits of genius that I haven't noticed and stuff. Um, I couldn't believe what without her I would not be willing to make this live stream yet because it's what I'm saying is impossible, right? But Johnny is a Beatles level genius.
Mhm.
Like I did not believe that any Beatles level genius could occur again because they had the advantage of being pioneers at a certain time in history, setting a lot of precedent, right? And so, and also they had this weird, freakish, unnatural occurrence of art by committee, not just working, but working, like fucking killing it, right? Normally, you got a band that has multiple voices, multiple visions competing or collaborating, or whatever you want to call it. Uh, it's not a good recipe for art. The Beatles are the exception that proved the rule. They pulled it off, but everybody else who tried to follow that example did not. You know, you need a visionary in charge usually.
Yeah.
Regardless, I didn't think that music could potentially afford any more visionaries of that level.
No, I thought it was done.
I mean, the thing is, I think we both believe that we were delighted to be in a time period where, thanks to technology and the Beatles and history and whatever, we were enabled to effectively comb through the massive pile of garbage to find the occasional sliver of heaven.
Mhm.
And that we were lucky to be empowered to listen to so much good music. Um, but that, of course, the era of visionaries was over. And like the last band that I was very impressed by was Mother Mother before Johnny. But I was impressed by them, and I was still like teaching the class, so to speak. As music listeners, normally like if your taste in music is good, then that's how it is. It's like you're the intuitive listener intuits what the artist has done well and poorly, correctly, right away. But um so with Mother Mother it was like that, you know? It's like they may be better artists than I will ever be, but they're human like me, which is to say they're hit and miss. And it's much easier to be a correct critic than it is to be a correct creator. So, and there's nothing wrong. That doesn't make being a correct critic cheap or something. Anyone can be a critic. No, actually, anyone can criticize, but it takes only a very, very, very few people are qualified to be actual critics. But regardless, the job of criticism is a lot easier than the job of creation. Hi, show media. How are you? So that's even the most exactly right critics, even if they're empowered with all the tools of the creator, can't create consistently stuff that they critique correctly as timeless, right? You're feeling extra showy today, huh? Well, that's good. So right now, I titled this Johnny Mania, and there are 4 people here. I've hashtagged it Johnny. There are 4 people here. I am very convinced that within a couple of years, everybody in the world will know exactly who I'm talking about. They will know his songs, they will know who he is, they will know what he's done, etc. He, we are right now riding the front of the wave of the next Beatles. Now, I don't know what he's going to do in his next album, obviously. But I've looked at his stuff he's done before now, in his most recent album. And today I watched this video called, this film, I guess you'd say, I guess you'd call it a film, called It's Always True, Never Fair. And what it is I think there are maybe 5 or 6 songs on it. I'm not sure how many. It's an extended music video that tells a story through all of these, like all the music videos connect together. It's like an album music video thing, right? 20 some odd minutes long. Johnny, I will put the link here so that everybody can go to his YouTube channel. But let's see here. Like, this is, for me, it's important to make this video because I very much appreciate show media asking that question. Wait, who are you talking about? Johnny. um, because my prediction, and I feel very certain about this, is I don't even feel like it's a prediction. I feel like it's a foregone conclusion. Okay, well that's fine. Somebody may have done that idea before, but it's a terrible idea for anybody else to do it because they don't. It's like Okay, I mean, it's so huge what's happening here. I'm rendered kind of speechless by it, right? Here you say, wait, who are we talking about? I think this Earth can get something similar to that. Maybe not. Might be mistaken. Blah, blah, blah. Okay? Um, the reason I want to make this video is I am very sure that in a couple of years, when I look back at this video, it'll be like everything I say here has come true. You know, um, this is the first time in my life that I truly had my mind blown by music. Because when I was little and listened to the Beatles, I was when you're young, that young, you can't have your mind blown, right? Because you don't have a bunch of expectations and normalities already set up to be entirely blown up by something. Um, so this is like I have obviously had my mind blown by individual pieces of art before many times. Um, but never by an artist. Artists are human beings. They make mistakes, blah, 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 blah. You know, everybody's hit and miss. This guy blows my mind. The thing is, it's also the opposite of the normal YouTube, it's just the always reality of things. We're fortunate because we're in a society where we have YouTube. YouTube is an excellent does an excellent job of filtering up, of recognizing that everybody makes shit, and occasionally someone makes something good. Mm-hmm. And very, very occasionally someone makes something great. And almost never someone makes something timeless. Okay? So it doesn't really matter who's making shit, right? It's like I might get lucky and make a timeless track. Like another band that I'm very impressed with is that band that A Good Song Never Dies. What's that band called?
Saint Motel.
Yes, Saint Motel.
Yeah.
Saint Motel. I'm impressed by that band a lot too. But and I rejoice in their triumphs. You know, I rejoice in Mother's triumphs. I rejoice in the triumphs of people who create triumphant things. You know, of course. But it all fits into the same basic frame of reference, which is everybody's creating shit. A very, very, very few people are good enough at creating shit to create an occasional timeless thing, right? The very, very, very best of them might make multiple timeless things along with multiple pieces of garbage.
Yeah.
Like Weezer, right? And then the very, 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 very best of them, the Beatles, might even do a whole set of albums with only one real stinker, let it be, you know? And even have a perfect album. The Beatles have the only perfect album that I can think of, but I'm qualifying that with an asterisk here because I now realize I'm not the teacher of this class, even though I'm doing the much easier job, criticism, right? He's doing the difficult job, creation. And I'm as ahead of the curve as one can possibly be in terms of the easy job, like understanding and criticizing music, which one's good, why it's good, blah, blah, blah. I'm as ahead of the curve as possible with that. That's an exponentially easier job than creating the stuff that I'm critiquing. And yet I'm behind Johnny at observationally. Like, not obviously, I'm millennia behind him creatively in terms of my music, but I mean, I'm behind him observationally because I'm not sure yet if the mistake I think renders his new album imperfect is actually a mistake. Anyway,
Yeah,
what
we
I
can't
am
tell
sure
yet.
of, what?
We can't really tell yet.
I can't tell you. I've got more work to do, you know. But what I can tell you for sure is that it's always true, never fair is the most perfect album since Rubber Soul.
Mm-hmm.
And uh Ruben R, no, I almost think don't there are no similar artists. That's the thing. That's what makes this different than everything else. That's what I'm saying. There are no similar artists. Sure, there are artists who make songs that may sound have the same kind of vibe or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I bet people will compare him to Beck. He destroys Beck.
And I think Beck knew that, and that's why he worked with them.
Well, I don't think Johnny liked it. I don't think Johnny wanted Beck trying to blow onto his genius.
They Johnny asked him.
Oh, Johnny asked him?
Yeah.
Oh, you look into it.
I heard the interview.
Okay, but see, here's the thing. It's pretty hard to find the comparatively hard to find the version of that track that has Beck on it, or maybe it's one track that has Beck on it, but the version that talks about how it has Beck on it.
Yeah, it's hard to find that.
It's not like I don't think Johnny. That may have been how the interview played out, but it may have been in the aftermath. Johnny started to think he's trying to say, I'm a outcome of him,
Mm-hmm.
or that I'm part of his legacy or something. And no, Beck is great. Beck's fantastic. Okay, don't get me wrong. Johnny buries his ass. I don't know what else to say about it. It's like there are no similar artists. There are no other comparisons to make besides the Beatles.
Yeah, it is.
That's how I feel right now, and I've never said anything like this before about anybody. And I'm 52 years old, and I've been listening to music my whole life. I've been playing music my whole life. Well, no, I've been singing my whole life. I've been playing musical instruments since I was 15 or so. Harmonica first, then guitar, you know. Guitar at 21, 20, I don't know, something like that. Regardless, I'm a person who's very much. The Shea Langoliers fan club is sort of an Eric art project. I am as authentically a fan of Johnny as anybody could be. In other words, my position on Johnny is rejoice today in his vision. Now, this is Corey's. This is all very super like synchronicity, slabby, crazy. What the hell's going on? Shit, right? Because Corey has that quality of genius. He has the same quality of genius.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that. Johnny is what Corey would have been had he been surrounded by the right environment, support system, actualization soil, you know? All this self-help stuff has it backwards, right? You don't actualize by actualizing by doing this or that or whatever. You create around you a world that allows you to actualize is the most you could possibly do. So right now, Rachel and I are actualizing because of these simple facts. We can do whatever we want. We do whatever we want. And instead of getting some sort of pushback for it, we get validated for it.
Yeah.
You know, we both started the relationship saying, I'm sorry a lot. What we were saying is, I'm sorry for this manifestation of being myself. I'm sorry for this manifestation of being myself. Because we've both been trained, as we all are, through all of life. No, he's not in Santa Cruz in September, he's in San Luis Obispo, and we already have tickets. It's a 900-seat venue, and we are going to be, I'm so thrilled that we got tickets for this because in a year or two, it will be impossible to see this guy. Impossible.
Mhm.
Like, look, I'm, whatever else you think about me, I don't know. But you should, you should trust that I am not going to lie about frequency matters, okay? I have never said anything like this about anyone before. I'm not some young, impulsive kid who makes these kind of statements haphazardly.
No way. No way.
It took me until I had yesterday. I wanted to tell Rachel a sentence, but I had to make sure I listened to the whole album again before I said the sentence, which was, I think this is the most perfect album since Rubber Soul, you know? Ruben, I just say, just watch the 20-minute film, which is like 6 Johnny music videos in a row or something.
Yeah, it's worth it. The songs
It's
blend
called-
into each other so well.
Yeah, it's called Always, It's Always True, Never Fair. Never Fair. Yeah. And it's got, all of the songs are genius, and I'm still processing what to say about the video. You know, it's, I don't know if what he did there has been attempted before, but what he did there has never been done before successfully, and has never been done before in a way that, you know, like defines a new genre of thing. I just watch it. I don't know. That's a giant plate of weed. No, this is a small plate of weed.
Yeah, that is a small plate for us.
That's a small plate of weed.
Can I have the lighter?
Oh yeah, do I have one? Oh, why do we have this lighter?
I
Where's...
don't know what happened to the other lighters.
Here. Okay, so like, for example, if Johnny had an NFT, I would buy it.
Me too.
We would get filthy rich because of it. Because that's like, I'm telling you right now, Johnny will get as big as the Beatles.
Yeah, he's that good.
And should.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's incredible what he's doing.
It's so incredible. It took Rachel and I a while to realize it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we sat for 20 something minutes watching this film, and like, it was just so good. We were both so engrossed. Like, it wasn't like we like paused at any moment to like stop and like.
Right, and this is the film, by the way, made up of music videos that I had already said I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
And not like I like the visuals exactly, or don't like them, or I just am not prepared to understand them yet. I'm not prepared to. I'm not. I'm not able to critique it. And that's not something I've encountered before.
Yeah.
I have to study it more before I can critique it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you have to study intellectual shit more before you can critique it, right? Like, that's the problem with the world. Nobody studies anything that they critique. Not in a way that's meaningful. Like a meaningful study of what they're critiquing requires them to meaningfully frame and articulate what they're critiquing first. And that never happens, so whatever. But with holistic stuff, I should be able to critique stuff without having to study it. If you have to study it, it's bad because it's just complicated stuff pretending to be a song, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not here. Not here.
No, this is a good study.
Yeah. Um, I can't critique it because it's ahead of me, even though its job, being a created object, is exponentially more difficult than my job critiquing it. And even though I'm extraordinarily good at the job I'm doing,
See, I don't. He doesn't. It's not really. He might. He wears a suit, but it's not a zoot
Where's
suit.
his mom? Don't try to NI him. You won't succeed. I won't succeed to NI him except to say Johnny Mania. And I'm very good at that. So do not attempt it. It will not work. And you'll just be very wrong all the time. When you encounter something like this, you just have to bow down and say, "We're not worthy. All praises due."
Yes. We're not worthy. All praises due. Like his lyrics are like so good. They blend so well.
It's not. It's every single detail.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say that not only is lyrically good, it's melodically good, and it really like it was a good video. Like the whole thing. It's
Well, the good news about music is we have a very reliable, not completely reliable, but very reliable test. Because sometimes things will stand the test of time for the wrong reasons, or there might be a traditional song that gets sung over and over and over again for years and years. It never was a good song in the first place, but got stuck as a tradition and entered the canon. So that does happen occasionally, but by and large, what the best test is durability. Mozart is still played today, right? Now, sure, symphony orchestras also play bad composers, but nobody can even sing their songs. Everybody can remember John Williams, like Raiders of the Lost Ark theme. That's Jurassic Park, huh?
yeah.
Well, anyway, the point
Yeah, I
is,
was trying to figure.
but if you ask somebody to sing the score to Fried Green Tomatoes, nobody can remember it at all, right?
How does?
I have no idea. The thing is, we have a great test. Like, does it stand the test of time? People know Beatles songs, still listen to the Beatles now, even
Yeah.
though they were fucking 60, 70 years ago or whatever. You look at, for example, Britney Spears and that other girl that I use. No,
Fiona Apple.
no, that dumb blonde girl who with the big tits, who was married to that guy who said "chicken in the sea."
Oh, Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson. Um, so look at Britney Spears and Jessica Simpson, who came out around the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can still sing Britney's hits from then. Hit me, baby, one more time. I cannot for the life of me sing a single note of a Jessica Simpson song.
Me either.
Each of those two songs may have had equivalent success at its
At the
moment
time,
of
yeah, I'm
release.
sure they did.
And
They
movies
did.
both hit #1, but only one of them was good.
Yeah.
So that test is pretty reliable, but it's of course a slow test. You can't win the argument right now with it.
Yeah, it is a slow test.
Ruben, you left out an R. You always felt pretty. And you should have.
Yeah, you always felt pretty and you should have.
Because you're very, very pretty. Yeah, you're being coquettish. That's the appropriate response. All right, let's go smoke a cigarette. So, here's the other thing that this whole Johnny thing has helped me to understand is that NI links strongly to understanding time frame things. That you're gonna have to have NI in a position of attentional significance to do a good job understanding which thing is still going to be understood, it's still going to be listened to 100 years from now, and which thing is not going to be listened to 2 years from now. Even though they're both equally popular right now. That requires NI in a strong spot, right? And it explains how people can like Dave Matthews or, like Fish, Blues Traveler, No Doubt. People can like them because, and No Doubt actually has a couple of songs that have legs. They're not timeless, but they'll still be played 20 years from now, probably. 30 years. The real timeless ones are the songs that outlive SI. So it's like songs that, if they somehow got forgotten and then were heard again, would become popular again. Those are good songs. They don't require an SI linkage for you to like them. I like this because I listened to it as a kid. I got fond memories for it, or whatever, fond associations, etc. It also needs to decouple from NE. I like this because it's weird and different. I like this because it's divergent, right? So it's only NI that can correctly determine what is good. Now, what everybody should be asking right now is, Eric, you're not an NI dom. How can you possibly be so good at knowing what's good in music? Well, I don't know. I guess I don't know the answer to that question. I mean, it's true that actually, maybe I do know. I think it's because Corey taught me. He told me, he's like, no, Eric, the things that sound familiar but you haven't actually heard it before? Sure, I've heard that somewhere before, but you haven't? Those are the good things. He told me that a long time ago. That may have empowered me to be correct. I don't know. I'm a learner. I'm an SI type, right? Because I wasn't always correct about what's good, music wise. Rachel's helped tremendously as well. You know, before I got with Rachel, I wasn't listening to a lot of new music at all. Um, and thank God for Rachel. Anyway, thank God for Rachel is obvious to everybody. Rachel and Eric were neither of them could function properly without the other one. So anyway, don't get all cryy again, Eric. I'm emotional today, I guess, because it's like the end of an Adderall run, and also because of all this crazy shit going on, and it's oh God, it's so revelatory because, of course, Corey made the song "Rejoice Today in My Vision" is one part of it, okay, and the bass line goes. It's brilliant, right? What Johnny has made clear to me is it's like we have to empower these individuals, or else we will not be able to rejoice in their vision. Like, I cannot rejoice in Corey's vision, no matter how good it is, the songs and stuff, at all. Because he's not been empowered to actually produce it properly, and, he hasn't been empowered by the circumstances. The circumstances needed to be validating to him in all the right ways and in none of the wrong ways, and then all of a sudden he would have produced a body of genius shit that I could rejoice in, right? And that it's possible to reach that level. But almost impossible, but it's possible for him to reach that level too. And he's not dead yet. Now, I get it. This whole story is devoid of verisimilitude. On its face, it's laughably absurd. And any normal, regular thinking person would just say, I don't know what's up with this crazy nut job, right? But I'd like to think that if they actually did some research and watched parts of my videos from different time periods and tried to evaluate my growth and what they thought about my intellect, honesty, character, etc. You know, that if people were using their intuition on the correct data and enough of it, that they would be like, okay, he's as credible a witness as there is on these points, right? But regardless, the message from God is clear. Somehow, I have to get Corey free. Free from his cage. Free from that horrible situation. And I don't know. Regardless, I've segued, unfortunately, from the topic. I do not blame anybody for saying it's unlikely your friend could ever become anything like that. Um, I'm skeptical of it myself when I say it that way, right? You know, but and so I wish I didn't even include that part because it makes me sound insane, even though it's true. But uh, because it's like at the moment, of course, my head is filled with Johnny songs, but it's also filled with Corey songs. Just not as much because I'm not listening to him as much, but it's always been filled with them. And it's not just because he's my friend. My head's not filled with Dave's songs. I can't think of it. I can't think of how any of them go at all, except for the first part of the one song. It goes, "Little bugs trying to destroy me." Which I don't mean to denigrate at all. I'm just saying that my head involuntarily, everyone's does to some extent, but most people don't trust this. Um, my head does the work for me involuntarily, right? Things get stuck in my head, and other things don't get stuck in my head, right? Earworms are a phenomenon that nobody can dispute. What that means is a different matter, and that's what I'm talking about, is what that means. Johnny's songs, I I haven't gotten my head wrapped around them yet. I have to listen to it more, a lot more, and nevertheless, as I'm walking around, parts of his songs are erupting into the environment almost audibly. So powerful are these melodies and rhythms and stuff. It's ridiculous. So I don't know. It's like I almost don't know what to do with myself. I know there's one thing I have to do. There was one thing I thought I had to do, which was type at some lady at 4:15. Rage. I didn't think I had to do that. Let me correct myself. I was blithely going about my business, doing something. Oh, I know. No, I don't know what I was doing. I'm not sure that at the same time. I was blithely going about my business, just leave it at that, when Jeffrey called. Jeffrey called me to talk to me about he was having, which I can articulate for you. Um, but I don't want to articulate right now. Anyway, when Jeffrey called, Where am I going with this story? God damn it, Eric. Where are you going with this story? Um, all right. I was blithely going about my business when Jeffrey called. And then Jeffrey talked to me about his problem on the phone. I was talking to him about his problem, and then Rachel said, put a phone in front of my face. I said, oh, I got a typing session right now? So I gotta go. Went in there. Lady didn't show up. I had to then update my to-do list to realize that the thing I had to do, which was respond to that lady finally, I had already done instead of typing session. So I actually got to check off my list, respond to that lady, even though I didn't do it. So that was pretty good. I still have one more thing on my list to check off, though. I need to do it today, so I stopped stressing about missing the time dates thing. I gotta register this government website on the lawsuit. Okay. Where was I headed with all of that? I do not know. I'm all discombobulated, so you should pay me a little bit more time. Pay me more time. It means I'm sorry for being slow. Pay me more time means I'm sorry for being slow is an excellent sentence. It's the sort of sentence that makes me want to jump up and down and say, yay! Oh, I'm thirsty. Are you thirsty too? Let's get a drink. So, Rachel, what are we doing today? Are we just doing this? I don't know what we're doing today. Today seems to have been more or less has yet to get started. It feels like I never really got started today. I'm not sure, but I do know what the day was supposed to be directed toward. It was supposed to be directed towards that ladies thing and then this damn court thing. So I'm going to have to do that damn court thing. That's what I have to do. Before I go to bed tonight, I have to do that. It's not a big deal. I just got to go to that website, register for it or whatever. Fucking SE. I hate SE. SE, go away. That's my poem. SE, go away.
I was just thinking how like it's really hard for me to recommend a good Johnny song because, like, I guess start off with Honey Pie.
I'd say start off with Wide Open.
I was gonna say that too, but I didn't want to be.
Well, the thing is, I'm not worried about like what I normally might be worried about. Like if I give them, but I think their best song is first, then their experience is going to be because it's Johnny. I'm not worried about it.
That's true.
You know, if their intuition is good enough to recognize what they're hearing, they'll have a similar experience to our own. And you know, I'm not just because Wide Open is my favorite Johnny song right now does not mean it's the best Johnny song. I'm not prepared yet to make those kind of statements.
I'm not either.
Not remotely prepared yet to make those kind of statements.
Like right now, I have audio stuck in my head.
Yeah, audio is. Yeah, when you put that on this morning upstairs, I immediately was like, what is this fantastic song?
She don't want my love. So good.
And the thing is, what's fantastic and amazing is you and I are married to each other, and we are each independently, authentically experiencing this mind blow from this guy, right?
Yeah.
So, it, what couple gets to have that? Because what couple has two people who have a similar level of passion for music and the exact same music taste, so much so that we can share this experience?
Mm-hmm.
And we have such a shared project as a life too. Talking to famous people,
Yeah.
cognitive functions,
Cognitive functions.
all that stuff. It's impossibly fantastic. How could it be true?
I know. Always true, never fair.
Oh my God. I hadn't SI'd it like that. You know, I hadn't NI'd the SI like that. Oh my God. It's so mind blowing. It makes me wonder if I'm losing my mind.
I know, right? Seriously, but we're not. It's just a crazy revelation, like that we thought was never gonna happen.
It's always true, never fair. Wow. At first, I didn't think much about what it meant at all. I couldn't really conceive of how it could be understood as a regular statement with a truth value at all. Like, well, that's obviously false. You know?
Yeah.
But SI is always true and never fair.
It is.
What's SI? It's always true and never fair. That's your particular experience.
Yep.
What is a person's particular experience? Always true and never fair. Wow. I don't know what to do with this. It's too magical.
It really is.
Because I get the whole mechanism here. You take the thing and you make the link yourself to your own life, and ta-da, magical feeling or whatever. I mean, well, when the linkages are so many and seem to link so purposefully in such stark contrast, it is hard to attribute that simply to the mechanism of creating links. Magical's guy friend is seductively beckoning. I'm the explanation.
I'm gonna pet Trouble a little bit more.
Sure, you do your thing. I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette in the garage. Uh, Magical sky friend seductively beckons. I'm the explanation. What is God? That's the Jeopardy question answer thing for that. Oh my God. How is this guy such a genius? How in the world? Did he take the accelerated course at Genius School? No. I don't know. It's like I'm so skeptical. I keep checking for justifications to negate, right? Like, well, you have been doing more drugs than usual lately. Is that anything to do with it? But I really haven't been doing that much drugs, and this phenomenon has overarched plenty of periods of not being on drugs and included them, or not being much on drugs, I guess. Obviously, I'm on one Adderall that I took early this morning. It's the last one, and so I do have some amphetamines in me, but I'm at the end of a run. So normally it's a short run, like, 5 days. But still, I've not gotten as much sleep as I should. I got plenty of sleep last night, but regardless, it's not reasonable to attribute all of this stuff that's making me be reeling, basically, to anything other than what I'm attributing it to, this singularity of magical slab motions. Wide open. I feel wide open. I'm not that woohoo, right? It's like I don't know what to make of it because I'm not satisfied by woohoo explanations, But I don't have any. This is the most paranormal thing ever. It's like people don't talk about this kind of thing as paranormalities because they're paranormal events of narrative. The reason they don't is because from SI, it's always true, never fair. So I I'm behind. My processing is behind substantially. I've got my processor had a huge workload in front of it, and I'm going out of amphetamines into presumably sleepy week. Right now, I feel like I'm wide open. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to have a normal sleepy week or if a new part of life has begun that that will change the way I engage with the world when I'm not on methamphetamines. I mean, not methamphetamines. I'm not on any methamphetamines. Let me make that very clear, okay? I'm not on any of that. I'm on amphetamines at all. Okay, I haven't smoked that stuff in a long time. If I were on that stuff, I'd be very concerned about what I'm saying entirely. You know, that would be plenty of cause for concern. But I'm definitely not on that. Um, so we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens. I feel like I don't know what the future holds at all. And I feel like it holds something specific or important things, right? Like before we got married, I didn't know what the future held, but I assumed the present was going to sustain and I'd be making a decision about what the future would hold. But of course, it's, it's like everything that's happening to me is almost like a rebuttal to my determinism video. Oh, you got free will, do ya? I'll show you. Because everything I'm intuiting says determinism. Like all of these things are inevitabilities that had to happen, so yeah, it could happen, so yeah, it could happen. I don't like determinism. Determinism is dumb. Okay? Let me make that clear. My position on determinism has not changed. Determinism isn't saying anything. But I get what it's referencing now, I guess. This feeling that all of this was inevitable. That's not really saying anything either, right? It's like, well, now that it's happened, it's easy to say that it was inevitable. You know. It's like watching a horse race and going, waiting for it to finish, seeing the 5 horsemen and going, I predict horse number 5 will win. That's not a prediction. That's a memory. I remember that horse 5 number 5 won. And that this was all inevitable, saying, I remember all the things that came before here. but it's also intuiting that somebody must have scripted that, right? What will I do? Who will I be? Where will we go? What will we see? These are the questions I need for me, and Rachel as well, for she is the she. When answers I find, then I will arrive at a place that I'll find. But if I'm still alive, because I'm not ready for the song to end. Okay? It's another Johnny quote. And a fantastic track called Death is a DJ at a Party. I think it's called. Something like that. Yeah, I'm not ready for the song to end, that's for sure. And
You know what I just realized?
what?
That the day of the concert is the day of your mom's birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Maybe
cool.
she's giving us Johnny.
Well, I like her gift even better than my dad's.
I think she did.
Wow. It's like it's, it's always true, never fair. You know? Both my dad and my mom are saying, see, he's right.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
Okay. I'm gonna have to just stop this stream. I'm too, like, emotional today. And I have too much processing work in front of me, for a lot of different things, personal and not personal. And normally I process things by talking them out loud, but right now I just think I should process things by maybe watching a cartoon or something. I don't know if this is the thing when shit's going on, or yeah, I guess it's a combination of factors. But when the combination of factors comes into play, then then it's hard for me to shut my mind down thinking about them.
Yeah.
Really hard. And sometimes I can successfully watch a cartoon, but usually it doesn't work. I'm not even, I'm looking at it, but I'm just in my head completely. My eyes aren't actually reading the text on the screen. I'm just thinking. So, still, might be worth a shot. Let's go back inside and see what the chat said before we leave. Oh,
Oh.
I feel like an emo kid at a goth party. Cry. Jesus is the only way to where, the only way to where you want to go. Am I on crazy pills? I'll put the link to his thing again. Yeah. And yeah. There. No, I had a typing session, I think. I had one at 4:15, but they didn't show up. I don't think I have any other ones today. No. As far as tomorrow goes, I'm not sure. Host H thing asked a question about EHPs and drugs. Where is it? Let's find out. Can you copy and paste it, Winston's mom? I can't find it. Oh, okay. Black Jesus. Fine. Oh. So, basically, I need to chill out. I'm still feeling like I'm feeling disrupted by all the disruption, and makes me feel like skittish, kind of, uh, like I want to lurk in a dark, warm place. I know I'm a sad man cry guy. H thing. EHP, love amphetamine, and other stimulants such as Adderall, vitamin screen methods. Can you please share your experience with overdose hours? Sure, H thing. My experience is I like uppers. I don't like downers. I do like to utilize half a Klonopin to balance, craft your head, if I'm feeling like I need to calm down or something, or want to go to sleep, or just I'm feeling gacky or whatever, then half a Klonopin's good. As far as other drugs, well, I I've done mostly everything, There's some new drugs I've never tried, but I've done like DMT and LSD and mushrooms. I was in a quite a long mushrooms phase where I was really into doing mushrooms. My last mushroom trip, I made me not want to do mushrooms. So uh, I went through a phase when I was doing meth back about 20 years ago, a little more than 20 years ago. And that was a mixed bag. I'm a recovering alcoholic, which is to say, I haven't purposely drank alcohol um, since the day after Christmas, like 9 years ago, 10 years ago. I'm not sure. What else can I tell you about drugs? Let's see. My experience is when I'm not on any drugs at all, I have a certain kind of restless energy, and I have in the past anyway become like a 10-minute Tom. I can only stay at one thing for 10 minutes. But that was, of course, in the wrong circumstances, the wrong soil, my kind of plant can only thrive with a whole shit ton of specific boxes checked, right? Conditions under which I can thrive. And so all of my drug behaviors, self-medicating behaviors, whatever you want to call them, it's hard to talk. I can tell you about my personal experience, but I don't think you should generalize from my personal experience to ENTPs. Okay, I don't think that a person's relationship with drugs necessarily has that much to do with type. Put it this way: if it does, and it might, I don't know what that relationship is, and I don't want to speculate about it really. So, just if you want to generalize from my experience to ENTPs, that's what you're going to do. But that's my disclaimer. So when I had a actual intoxication problem, it was when I was drinking, and I never didn't have a problem with drinking. I mean, there were instances occasionally when I didn't have a problem, but there was never an extended period of time when I didn't have a problem when I was drinking with drinking. So while I was drinking, my attention and energy was directed through that frame. Like going to work was good because it prevented me from drinking. It's hard to say. It's hard to say much about my relationship with any other kind of drugs when I was drinking because that defined everything. Uh, since I quit drinking, before I quit drinking before, but in those times before when I quit drinking for stretches of time, I also had quit doing drugs as per the dictates of Alcoholics Anonymous and stuff, as per the general milieu at the time and maybe still. Um, last time I quit drinking, I did not quit using drugs. And that made all the difference because alcohol was the thing I had a problem with. And quitting alcohol was very difficult. I didn't need to add on to it a problem of not having helpful drugs to help me cope with it, right? That would be silly. And I had been silly in that fashion previously. I'm not silly like that now. So smoking weed helped me quit drinking. Smoking weed helped a lot. And then at some point, I never quit doing Adderall. I was doing Adderall when I quit drinking, doing it before I quit drinking, and continued on through when I was quit drinking. Until I went to China, in which case I couldn't have any Adderall, and for at least a couple of months of it, and then I was just completely sober. And then I came back and started smoking weed, taking Adderall again, and I've been doing that ever since. And I've had a wonderful time. And that's my story. Cold turkey is your method. An 11-step program. You know what, Ruben? You're thinking like a businessman. How can we poach AA's customers and profit off them for ourselves? The answer is 11 steps. Why? Because people like convenience. 12 steps is one step too many if 11 steps is available. I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, then won't somebody else just start a 10-step program? No, 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 no. Because the minimum number of steps you can use to get where we're going is 11. So the 12-step program made a big mistake. They chose letter B, leaving letter A available. We're going to get it. Well, because the first 10 steps cover this much of the distance, the 11th step covers this much of the distance. And so you gotta have long legs for that last step. That's the important one. Have I ever tried to smoke cat food? No. Why would I do that? I may have accidentally smoked cat food at some point. When like I'm trying to pick through the carpet for crystals of meth and put it in a pipe. Maybe I accidentally got a bit of cat food, but I I've never purposely smoked cat food. So maybe like 20 some years ago, I accidentally smoked a little bit, but no. I'm not a cat food smoker. I'm not a cat food smoker. If you want to smoke your cat food, put it in a cat food smoker right now. The massive withdrawals. If you smoke if you smoke cat food, the withdrawal symptoms are bad, huh? I bet. I bet. What do you think the best cat food to smoke is? Meow mix? It might be meow mix. You only YOLO once. You're just ultra ATMing that. ATM machining that, Ruben. It's a meow mix hybrid. Yeah, it's meow mix crossed with um, tender vittles. I don't really like tender vittles. Anything else? Let's see. Well, I got a pure Fancy Feast strain right here. Fancy Feast. I normally don't like wet food. Well, it's a little heavier. It's a little headier. Uh, a little less, a little more sleepy, a little less creative, but. why, you only YOLO once. Should be L there though. YOLO. In parentheses, you only YOLO once. Yeah, it's kind of like my sentence. I say to Rachel or the cat sometimes. Your beauty is constantly re-astonishing me again for the first time forever without stopping. You could smoke some catnip, but you won't get high. That's what Winston's mom says. So don't smoke that catnip because you won't get high. That's what Winston's mom says. Oh, is that what happened, Mr. Bobby? I mean, this is all a dream? I smoked some cat food right now? Hmm. What are some other brands of cat food? There is Iams, but, Iams is just like brown hillbilly weed, something like that. Just your cheap $60 an ounce weed. Even though limes is a good cat food for smoking, it's not. That'd be hilarious. Show me if I walked into the kitchen later and Trouble was smoking some of his cat food. Like, what are you doing? He'd be like, I couldn't find the weed. Trouble is so talky lately. He is talking up a storm. He is storming up a talk. He's meow, meow, meowing like a nobody's business. I gotta decalcify my pineal gland. How will I do it? I'm gonna get anti-calcium stuff. That's how I'm gonna do it. There's too TMI information. There's too many TMI informations. Too many TMI informations is a frequent problem when people talk about their bodily functions. TMI. Uh-oh. Ike Ojiamian has the ability to urinate on a person's third eye. And you'd think, well, he must be urinating like here or something. No, because that's, if you just pee right there, it's going to bounce off their forehead, obviously. There's a special psychic hole that other people can't see. Right here. He pees in there, and it, using quantum wormholes, goes directly to the pineal gland. Showers it with its golden liquid, and then thereafter causes it to wither and die. So it's not really a service you want performed on you, but it is a service he can perform. No, it is there. It's here. It's just you can't pee on it because your forehead's in the way. The one in your butthole is your fourth eye, Bobby. So it's also called your prostate gland if you're a male, and it's called your something in your vagina if you're a woman. I don't know what it is. Women don't have a prostate gland. I'll always remember the day that I asked the doctor if women have a prostate gland, and he laughed at me. No. I didn't know. I didn't know if they did or not. So I asked him, It's an excellent question, Ruben. You're on fire today. I'm giving you 2 wonder points. Right now, right here, 2 wonder points. Is it Tuesday? Wait, is it Tuesday? Let me see if it's Tuesday. Oh no, Tuesday doesn't matter. It's Wonder Points Wednesday. It's not Wednesday, so they're not doubled. Point values aren't doubled. You just get the 2 Wonder Points. On Wednesdays, Wonder Point values are doubled because obviously Wednesdays are Wonder Point Wednesdays. But yes, I am implying that women are fourth eye blind. And that by and large, they shouldn't listen to third eye blind. Anyone who's anyone knows psychedelics open doors that ought not be opened. Spiritual doors. Well, good thing I don't afford anyone who's anyone very much credibility. Would you say any front stack has the most fun mentally with drugs? I don't know. I've noticed some tendencies like INTPs tend to like to do drugs. ENTPs tend to like to do drugs. ESTPs tend towards more sensory drugs and less psychedelic drugs. Um, but I can't explain it with cognitive functions as to why that would be the case, so I don't bother talking about that. I can't really back up any statements I might make about drugs and type with particularly good reasoning that also matches up with any kind of empirics. So I don't know why it's like it's just speculation, you know. Since I don't have the answer, it's just speculation. But yeah, it's like when I said it seems like ESTP is like more sensory drugs. Those kind of drugs that aren't psychedelics aren't called sensory drugs. Right there is like an example of the stuff that happens when you start speculating, right? I noticed that ESTPs don't like psychedelics that much, and so I just referred to non-psychedelics as sensory drugs. That's haphazard, horrible, sloppy reasoning. Don't listen to me when I say things like that. That's not a good thing to say. You see why I'm hesitant to broach these kind of topics? Because since I don't know the answer, I might say the wrong thing. Go ahead, Eric. Say the wrong thing. I like it. Okay, the wrong thing. What am I doing with all this paradigm changing wackiness? What should I do with it all? Should I take it to the bank and put it in the safe deposit box? Should I take it to my home and put it in the cabinet? Oh yeah. Should I open up this beer and drink a sip or two for hydration? So, what will I do with all this paradigm changing life event stuff? Am I gonna meow? Am I gonna meow? I don't know. Oh, all of those things and more, everybody. All of those things and more. I am rocked to my core, my paradigm shifting horrors. No, there aren't any horrors. Paradigm shifting or otherwise. But there are ores, shores, and bores. So pick from those. Would you like ores? Would you like shores? Or would you like bores? You can have any of those things. No, you cannot have s'mores. That doesn't even rhyme. Oh, what? It does rhyme? Oh, I mean, it rhymes, but it's not okay. Pores? Which kind of pores? Little holes on your face? Okay, fine. You can have pores. But you can't pour anything. Also, you can't have poor people. So, those are the rules. Live with them or don't. Regardless, it's always true, never fair. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ear and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. Oh, I get high with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Could it be anybody? I just need someone to love. No, that's not true. It's not true for anyone. Everybody needs the exact right person to love. Like the Bunny Museum lady. I wouldn't be surprised if she and her husband have a perfect relationship. I don't think making your house into a bunny museum is a good idea. But I'm not them. And I'm not talking about their decision to make it open the bunny museum. But if they're both as fully on board as this with this as it sounds like, they didn't show them together. Well, the story is they started giving each other bunnies as love things, and just their whole house piled up with bunnies, so they love each other so much. It just goes to show you, even if you're some anti-polar lady or anti-polar man who wants to open a bunny museum, well, there's the other part to that somewhere out there. You know? Like I was saying about Siegfried and Roy. You know, I was surprised to learn the other day that Siegfried and Roy actually aren't gay. They're just two straight guys with a shared passion for tigers. But anyway, Siegfried and Roy is like, if they were meant to be together, obviously they're gay, but if they were meant to be together, it would be like that. They'd be together and be like, oh my God, you not only like tigers as much as me, but you like the exact same tigers? You prefer that tiger over that one, just like me? What? And you're gay? And you do magic too? What is going on here? Well, I'm more of a, mostly, I do dabble in magic, but mostly I just love watching magic shows. The guy's like, oh, I mean, I do like watching magic shows, but mostly I just do magic. That's Siegfried and Roy's Rachel and Eric moment, right? When they realize they're meant to be together, only for one of them to tragically be mauled years later. See, that's the advantage of having a shared passion for music. You don't have to keep it in a cage, and it won't maul you. Good idea, huh? On my way home, leaving alone, rather than be Taking suburbia out to look for my spoon with Eddie Van Halen. Satan is everywhere. Corey songs keep popping in my head too. What have I been singing lately out loud? I sang the Beatles, sang that Corey song. At the moment, the Slavs have decided to give my head a brief respite from continual Johnny songs. But I don't doubt that it will return in due time. Sounds like there's thunder almost up there. They said today's a record high. Doesn't feel that hot. It feels like the other day was a little hotter than this. But I'm used to LA, you know. My definition of hot is never gonna get hot up here. It's just gonna get pretty hot. And it was hot the other day when we went into town. Thought it was a hot day. Shopping at the music store, that was a sweaty experience. And I wish they had had an air conditioner. But they don't. So we just had to be hot. We had no choice. It was either that or not complete our task. And I didn't want to not complete our task because that would be bad. I guess I just have to wait for my feelings to stabilize. I always feel destabilized when my feelings are big, even if it's good big feelings, you know. Okay, I'm gonna split. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for being here. Love you. Have a good day.